I mean, you don't need a lot of effort to see through the witch hunt that is going through with Ababu Namwamba, the sports CS, because how does the deputy speaker of the National Assembly then go on national television station to rant about Ababu Namwamba while there are channels which are supposed to be followed, parliamentary channels, for putting him to task? So this looks like a well-scripted and well-coordinated hatchet job. I think they are saying, I saw a tweet from Robert Alais, they want to replace Ababu Namwamba with Yamune Wanka. So it's all an ethnic engineered tirade. Of course, Kimani Ichungwa is there. I told you there are some people who are more than too willing. They are volunteering to be the mouthpieces of this regime, because that's how the system works. That's how this engine is wired to operate. That if you're not there, if you're not displaying unsolicited psychophancy, then chances of you being expended like a piece of lint are very likely. The people who are quiet, like now Wamushomba, you don't hear anymore because she dared to challenge the system, unlike the Kibaki era where Kinaruto used to challenge Kibaki directly. Now these days, at the whiff, at the just the mere suspicion that you're not towing the party line, then you are up for dismissal. These are strange times to be in. It's almost like those cliques. Have you ever been in those cliques of friendships where if you don't, then people don't want to talk to you because then there's an alpha. There's an alpha individual there who now all of you have to bow down to. Those is some level of psychophancy and can I say outdated way of managing an economy like Kenya's in such a manner. So for Kimani Ichungwa, we understand he has to constantly keep on can we say backing, so as to convince the powers that be that I am a loyalist, but the Ababu Namwamba replacement will not be from Kimani Ichungwa's constituency or community. They want to replace him with a Yamune Wanka. Now, secondly, is the hypocrisy of Gladys Shollei. Last I saw, first of all, let's look at her comment where she's saying that I have hosted them athletes at my house because the CS is not bothered. They have told me some of the horror stories of what happens to them. They fly economy while ministry officials fly business class. Sometimes they have layovers of up to 14 hours. Now, I just remember a very sad image where I saw last year, just before the elections, a few months before elections, Gladys Shollei, you look at that picture, she was launching a tournament or a team. Last minute before the elections, that's when she kitted them out. And don't forget that the CDF, their funds are allocated for football. And look at them there, Gladys Shollei, they look so. Do these look like motivated sportsmen and women? Don't forget, we keep receipts. We see you guys talking there, but we have all the receipts. Now look at her. Now this one who cannot even sustain with government funds. She cannot keep a football team running. This was just for political expediency, just for visibility in the run-up to the last election. Now that's the one who is coming to lecture us about sports. I don't know why Citizen would also have the deputy speaker to discuss sports. They remind me of how the same Citizen TV station, after FIFA banned Kenya, the first person they called there to discuss about the FIFA ban was Jaro Soja. Jaro Soja is the mascot of Gor Mahia. Now, how do you take a conversation from here and then you take it back to here? So if you're gonna evaluate Ababu Namwamba's performance, you should have people who are qualified in that field. I mean, when you're talking about medicine, do you call posers? Why do people treat sports as if it's an afterthought that you can call just anyone across the streets just because she's claiming that she hosted athletes? Which athletes? Did they take selfies with her? Oh, which ones? This Kenya Kusha shit show is crazy. Now, the next thing which you're going to see is going to shock you. Look at this video. This video is the education CS Ezekiel Machagu. He's in a funeral somewhere, and then he starts dishing out teaching jobs, TSC jobs, and you wonder, There is no merit. There is no, were these guys vetted, that you just go there, the letter has been stamped, or the form has been stamped with his seal, I don't know what, and then you go there, you just write your name, and then you'll see some guy there, look at him, so humiliated, look at him kneeling down, and then idiots are clapping. I tell you, these are the boomers you need to take care of. You need to avoid. Look at him lifting his hands. This is why they are weaponizing poverty. They are weaponizing poverty so that you can be beholden to them. You can be, when you go there, you're just looking at them and you're kneeling down and almost worshiping them. But some people, we are glad that some people are rejecting, albeit in a very subtle way. Like there was drama in Cherargei town after irate residents block Kenya Dairy Board officials from arresting milk vendors. You understand now? The vending, I told you now, the mama mbogas, nyinyi ndio mnakujiwa mama mbogas in your infinite stupidity. When you're listening to your vernacular stations, when you're listening to your corrupt clergy who have been bribed, you endorsed this government. This government is coming for your jobs because they've literally grabbed everything else. So now you are vending milk. The milk will come from one other person. Previously, it was Brookside, and Brookside, when there was hue and cry, Brookside stepped back. Now some other person is going to be vending. They already have the vending machines for oil. They were launched on Monday for cooking oil. So the mama mbogas who are selling cooking oil, nyinyi mko nje. The people who are selling milk, mko nje. You are seeing they are going to arrest you. So, you're going to be the first casualties of your stupidity, especially the Mount Kenya people. Because the politicians, when they are talking in the media, when they are talking in the clergy, they are saying that they have your blessings. Not unless you come out vigorously and say that these guys do not represent us. These guys are not part of us. No, until you do that, this will continue being your daily routine, and now the problem with you people is you cannot distance yourselves from religion, from the clergy, from the church. Now, don't forget that this regime is using the church to validate their treachery, to sanitize their corruption. You see, it's always deliberate that when they are making those toxic and polarizing statements, they do them on Sunday, they are in front of church, and then there is a clergy who are dressed with their robes behind there, because it gives you the image. There is a psychological effect to that antic, to that PR antic. So for you to, like the young people who I've been talking to, I have been telling them, for you to know that your father is and your parents are fucked in the head, that your parents are degenerate boomers, the first thing is if they watch news. Do they watch news? Do they watch news religiously? There are some old idiots who watch news 7 p.m., 9 p.m., and even all the other headlines in between, and then if your parents are such characters, then those are boomers. In fact, you can block them if you not. There is a lady in the town of Thika and she has been neglected by her own children because she's toxic. She doesn't talk to her neighbors, and she died for 8 months. Nobody knew that she was dead because even her own children, she's toxic to them. And so once you become too toxic, even your children, they will either leave you like that, or they'll abandon you at PCA. They'll go to home for the age. So if your parents have such tendencies of watching news, when you're there, you're watching football, EPL, and then they switch, or you're watching something else, let's watch news. Now, those are toxic parents that you don't need to be talking, that you don't need to be engaging with, yeah? And finally, just see what they are doing in Italy. Just watch this video.
If you have a couple of extra drinks in Italy and are not in a state to drive back home, you will not have to worry about booking an expensive ride because the government will sponsor your ride home. Revelers who appear too drunk while exiting a party will have to take an alcohol test, and if they are over the limit, a taxi will be called to take them home safe. And here's the fun part, it will be at the state's expense. What is the motive behind this? Of course, to rein in drunk driving and also to curb deadly accidents. It is a smart move by the government for more than one reason. The alcohol consumption will likely go up, so will the revenue. More tourists will come in, ultimately boosting the country's economy. And as you already know, road accidents will dial down.
You hear they want to boost the economy by organizing, not bringing alcohol as a deterrent, like how this government and the past government have been doing. They killed CBD because of bringing alcohol for extortion only, not for any economic value.